The use of AI is going to take over the entertainment industry.
Who's got the power? We got the power!
Firefighters are scrambling to contain several major fires tonight.
In Altadena, dramatic video showing elderly patients being evacuated from a senior center.
700 Marines are on their way to the streets of Los Angeles to assist the National Guard and law enforcement tamp down violent clashes with protesters angry over the Trump administration's immigration policies and arrests.
The world is collapsing, both literally and figuratively. So while everything crashes down around us, I decided to start building something that can't be erased. Because after 20 years working in the entertainment industry, I realized something. We don't need permission to create something that matters. My name is Mars Litica. I'm a filmmaker and video editor. I've been in the entertainment industry for 20 years, over 20 years now. I've worked on all kinds of stuff. Made short films on my own as a director. I've edited broadcast television, feature documentaries, short documentaries, and a couple years ago, I decided to start something called the Blended Future Project, which is my own personal mission company. For 20 years, I played by the rules, but when the entire system is now crashing down, I'm realizing something, that we don't need their permission to tell stories that matter. The stories that need telling most are the ones that Hollywood won't touch. So if you look behind me, we've cleared out a lot of stuff. The desk behind me is gone. The new one is right here. It's always fun when you get a manual this big in order to build a desk. So it's going to be in kind of a L shape going this way. I'll probably be in the corner over there. So we're kind of in the middle point, which ironically is kind of where I am. I was working at a large, well, not so large. It was a medium-sized company before the pandemic and during it, making a lot of lifestyle content. You've probably seen some of it on your YouTube feed somewhere. And then that company went under. And then the entire industry went under. A lot of the companies who made a lot of stuff during the pandemic thought that that was going to be the case all the time. So they tailored it to people being trapped in their homes and forgot to think about what happens when people leave their homes. Everybody watching was kind of like, we want something new. We want a new experience. That was comforting then. Now it's just weird. Why are you still in your house hanging out? And when interest rates rose and the pandemic was over, a lot of companies didn't know what to do. They used the strikes as a way to reset the books. And now they're still resetting the books. So not a lot of work out there. I've been fortunate working on some fairly decent projects at the moment, one of which is a documentary about Ukraine. I'm mixed, I'm multiracial. My father was from Latvia, my mom from the west side of Chicago. I grew up in the 80s as one of two other mixed kids in the neighborhood, and I didn't really see a lot that reflected my experience in the media. I moved to Denmark when I was 13, so I lived as an American immigrant in Denmark, and here I am in midlife. Times have changed, but they also have not. While they're trying to erase stories like mine and other people, I'm building an archive they can't delete. This isn't just about making films. This is secretly a battle for who gets to define what America looks like. We're living in a time of attempted erasure, but you can't erase what has already become public knowledge. And this will be one of the places where we preserve what needs preserving, where we archive what needs to be remembered. Even though we have access to the entire world, we still divide ourselves into little silos. So I'm hoping that I can not only make stuff of my own, but coordinate with other filmmakers, other content creators, so we can start putting voices and faces and perspectives out there that we don't normally hear from. Things should have changed. A lot of them are the same. We're still blaming immigrants for all kinds of things, and we're still locked in those silos and afraid of each other. So maybe this will make a difference. I'll try. You know, while I can't afford to say no to work at the moment. Gotta still pay the rent. Landlord doesn't really care if you have a mission to dream as long as those checks keep getting cashed. But I want to try and make a difference. The reality is that demographics are changing. In the future, there will be no true majority. Our racial makeup will be much different in the coming years. That makes a certain kind of person feel a certain kind of way, but it's reality. And our media reflects that. As films with diverse casts, we outperform at the box office, which means the power is in our hands, the creators. This thing that I call the Blended Future Project was kind of just my own experiences, just writing them down. It was a blog. Then I've slowly been making films under it. So now the next step is to keep on making those, not just from my perspective, but other people's, other filmmakers, just all working together, trying to get our work out there. We, as an audience, want to see. We want to see real, authentic perspectives from what the world looks like and will continue to look like. Then we have to find our own avenues. And this is my goal. This is the mission, is to be able to put work out there from people who don't normally get heard from, who aren't listened to, and do it in a way so that we can go directly to the audience. When I say we, it's because although it's just me, it started with just me in this office, I have a lot of wonderful friends and collaborators who've been watching what I'm trying to do here, and we're all trying to work together to build something. So this is what you're going to see. Just like you're going to see me build this desk, you're going to see me try to build something great, something impactful. This desk is small. It can only really fit one person, which my goals back then were small. I just wanted to write one movie and make one. But here's what I've learned. Small, focused stories create bigger impact than trying to please everyone. This old desk represents everything wrong with how we think about filmmaking success. We had the strikes because a lot of companies made stuff during the pandemic and they forgot to think about what happens when people leave their homes. They taught us that distribution was magic. It's not. It's just work they didn't want to do. And if we're not getting that from the traditional avenues, then we have to find our own avenues. Because you don't need millions to make films that matter. Your audience is looking for you right now, and every story that you don't tell becomes one they can erase. Desk is done. Got my monitors up back there. They're nice and side by side. One of the issues that I was having with the old desk is that I would have the big monitor up, but then any other monitor, I had to really crane my neck in order to see it, which normally wouldn't be an issue, but once I started editing these pair of feature docs that I'm working on, I realized that more than one monitor was going to be necessary. So having it nice and side by side was really good. I've got my big microphone back there. I've got lots of storage space under here. My drives are under here. I don't want to make this into a desk tour video, but I'll be throwing up some B-roll. Let me know if you do want a desk tour. I'm sure I could make that happen. Still got some cable management to do. The cables aren't crazy back there, but you know, they could always be nicer looking. Old desk is gone, new desk is here. And to further expand upon this metaphor that I have beaten to death in this entire video, with the expansion of this desk comes the expansion of what I think a filmmaker is in this modern era. Hollywood hasn't always been kind to filmmakers, but they did value what we brought. We were a valuable commodity. Now we're just a commodity, apparently. We exist to make their ideas happen so their stock prices can go up, in their minds. In my mind, we have our fingers on the pulse of what modern culture and society is, and we are holding it up for people to take a look at. And if those two ideas don't mesh anymore, then there's really no reason for us to try to be a part of it. With the tools that we have, it's not easy, but it's easier to make a film, but it's also easier to get your film shown. I'll be sharing, my process of making a movie and some of the tricks that I've learned along the way to stretch a dollar and edit and do all the things that I know how to do, be a one-man show if you have to, but also how to get your movie seen places, because I think that's the trick. We create so we can create more. And if we're kind of stuck in this rut where we always have to be creating for somebody else, which is what I think becoming a new studio director more and more these days. If you're part of the old guard, then you have the cachet to make what you want, but if you're still coming up, then you're kind of at their mercy. But I think being a filmmaker now is about being able to create the things that you want, have a connection to an audience that likes the things that you make, and being able to create a lifestyle for yourself where you can keep doing this again and again, where you don't have to worry about always having to work for somebody else or always having to worry if the lights are going to turn off just because you want to make something. So that's what I'll be sharing. I hope you enjoyed me taking a metaphor way too far, and I'll see you in the next one.